Show him that we can win too. Play Jaden when he at full power. Hit him with the mass change. Yeah, I'm the lawyer. Greg is the devour. Heroes, now it's our turn to show you that.
You peoples, welcome to the discussion video. It's week 4 with the Isolde Hero, and of course, that being our final week, we want to talk about how this engine compares to, the Omni Hero engine, the Neos engine, or, pure Destiny Hero engine, pure E Hero engine, and, mostly over the Omni Hero engine because, that's the one that people use the most, so first of all, I want to say like taking first place with the deck was like it was awesome. It was amazing, and then the next tournament we played in, we still got in top cut. We finished 6th in Swiss and that, and then ended up losing in top cut. But it was all good. But the deck, very consistent. That tournament that I took first place in, I did not win. Like, I think I might have won one dice roll that entire day. Y'all have seen that on the videos that I posted. Like, I was going second like every single time. But the ability to fit hand traps inside of the deck, the ability, to be able to get into your opponent's hand, disrupt their hand, know exactly what they're trying to do is just really, really good. Since like way back at the beginning of Yu-Gi-Oh, like cards like Forceful Sentry, Confiscation cards they had the ban that were tried to bring in and out of the format, because going into your opponent's hand knowledge, means a lot, especially when you can get rid of cards inside of their hand for free. Like literally the deck just gets rid of 2 cards in their hand for free, and then since you know what 3 cards are left inside of their hand, you're able to set up either Appaloosa if they have stuff that's going to be activated in their grave, or just go straight up Plasma if their deck is just like reliant on field effects. And one of the matches that I lost, I ended up losing a Sword Soul, and I might upload that video next week so that y'all can see what happened. But it was crazy. I hit and looped my opponent for 2. I ended up hitting the Taya and the Mo Yi out of his hand, and he just didn't have that much left. But for turn, he drew Appaloosa. So one of the things I haven't been able to display inside of my videos is that, what if your opponent does have, something like Dark Hole or Regeki, because a lot of people are playing Dark Hole and stuff. You can actually set up and end your turn where you end with IP, so that you can make like that 3 negate Appaloosa on your opponent's turn that can't be destroyed by card effect because you made it with IP during that turn. And if he had the Dark Hole inside of his turn, that's the way I would have set up my inboard field. But he ended up drawing the Dark Hole for turn and Dark Holed my board of, I think it was like a 3 negate Appaloosa and DPE. And yeah, it's just he was able to play cards on that turn, because I think we had like 4 minutes left, and so he was able to draw out a little combo and take up the rest of that little bit of time that we had left. But stuff like that happens when you play Yu-Gi-Oh. One of the other things is like bricking inside of the deck. Yeah, there were a couple of times that I did brick, just like any other deck, you're gonna brick sometimes, but I felt like it wasn't as many times as it happens when you play like Omni Heroes, just because with this deck, as long as you get 2 warriors out onto the board, you're supposed to do some kind of combo. Just like Isolde, bringing out Isolde by himself is like automatically like a 3 negate Appaloosa, just like as long as you get his effects off. Another thing that somebody was talking about was Isolde being a big target. So there are 2 of them inside of my extra deck, so if they do imperm that first one, you got a second one to go into. And even other times when your opponent does have hand traps, because of the way the deck runs, there are a lot of things you can do before you actually get to a Isolde. There's a Hero Lives that they want to ash. Like sometimes they want to go ahead and hit Stratos, sometimes they want to hit Vion, sometimes they want to go ahead and hit what's his name? Not Vion. They want to go ahead and hit the Shadow Mist if you're trying to go for mass change. And a lot of times, even before you go inside of a Isolde, it's inside of their hand, because you often their dolphin, ripping stuff out of their hand, so it's a really good deck. I feel very confident playing the deck. I feel like I can win whether I'm going first or second. Fusion Destiny definitely puts in a lot of work inside of that deck. It's a very powerful card, and just if you feel like you're having a turn where you're going to have to rely on Fusion Destiny, you just decide not to special summon the other monsters that you have inside of your deck. That way you can fully go into DPE Plasma. That's one of the things that I really like about the deck, is that in some cases I can go like a regular hero board because I play Fusion Destiny off in there. And if they hand trap out the rest of that, they don't have Ash left for Fusion Destiny. And DPE is a whole lot better this format without Tears here getting their effects when he pops their stuff on the board. So it's been very, very effective. Now compared to Omni Hero, I feel like Omni Hero, like, say you draw an optimal hand with both decks, like, I feel like the Isolde Hero is a little bit better, mostly because you're getting inside of your opponent's hand, you're knowing what they're trying to do, you know exactly what they're playing, you're able to, like I said, either go Appaloosa, or you can even go Plasma depending on what kind of deck they're playing with. There was a game where I played against Labyrinth, and of course against those, there's no point in going Appaloosa or Plasma in that point, so I set up IP so that I could make Unicorn on their end phase and spin back a spell or trap card. Like, in that aspect, like, it's so good, because like, especially like when you go first, you know what your opponent's playing, you get to look inside their hand, get rid of like whatever their biggest threat is, get rid of a random threat, and just go from there and build your board accordingly. And I think that is so good, and why I was able to capture like a first place victory with this deck. Even these people who have been playing the deck on Master Duel, I know y'all have seen their decks with the smoke grenade added off in there, and this just makes the deck so much more powerful because you pop in extra cards inside of their hand, and it just puts in work. Now, another option I have is to play a deck more like Team Samurai X1's I guess it wouldn't be more like a Soul Day Heroes. It's like a hand disruption, deck with the Neo Space connectors off in there, which is, another big target that people are going to want to hit, because it special summons out the Dolphin on the board, and you can discard a card like immediately. And, with that version of the deck, you're actually able to rip, 3, 4, 5 cards out of your opponent's hand. I think maybe 3 or 4, maybe not 5. At least 3 though. At least 3 if you're doing, the Neo Space connector stuff. So, pretty good deck. I really enjoyed playing it. Y'all know that, like, I think when I first came back into the game and played in my first regional, I did play like I played like an Isolde Hero deck. They called it an Infernoble Hero deck when they posted like the little article on TCG Player about it, and so Isolde is definitely, I love playing the Isolde Hero versions. Like, I feel like it makes the deck a little bit, a little bit more dimensional, like, instead of being like relying completely on your fusion summoning, you also have link summoning, because there was also a game where I played against Labyrinth and he debarried me, but it didn't matter because I still like went into access code talker. And that's just one of the things I love about the deck, is just like, if my opponent does stop my fusion summoning with a card like that, then I still have my links that I can rely on and be able to go to in order to keep me inside of the game. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Compared to Omni Hero, I feel like like both decks is gonna have its strengths and weaknesses. I prefer Isolde Hero because I feel like it has a stronger first turn than Omni Hero. But like going second, even though there were games that I won quite a few games going second with the deck, I do feel like Omni Hero going second is a whole lot more powerful. Just like, the ability to OTK your opponent and having so many different ways to extend and play through it. And, just if you have a board breaker, you're going through and you're winning games. Like, another thing that I really like about this deck is that, with the cards that we have inside of the format, such as Dark Hole, and a lot of people playing Book of Eclipse. Even with Book of Eclipse, you have an Appaloosa out on the board in order to negate your opponent's monsters. They can't flip that down with Book of Eclipse. You know, like they'll be able to flip down your DPE and your plasma, your dark law if you have that, of course. But if you go and you see it inside their hand, it's like, okay, I don't want to do plasma. You know, there's probably no point in doing dark law this turn. So let me go ahead and make this Appaloosa and see if I can get like a 4 negate Appaloosa out on the board. And it is possible. I've done it. Like you can do stuff like that. Yeah, it's just really versatile, amazing deck. I'm glad that, you know, I was able to get first place with it, and, you know, hopefully I can do the same thing with Omni Heroes, with Wake Up Your Elemental Hero coming out. I feel like, you know, I felt like one of the biggest problems with Omni Heroes is like the extra deck. Like a lot of these decks are like one card combo decks, and it's because once they get that one card, like they're able to do like so many things because their extra deck monsters do so much, you know, to continue to build up their board and be able to do things. And I feel like heroes, like the only thing that our extra deck monsters seem to do was, you know, add more cards, add more heroes to our hand, which we already have Stratos, Emergency Call, Rhoda, all those cards, Shadow Mist. They already add heroes to our hand, and, you know, just give us another card to add another hero to our hand, you know, and that's what our extra deck monster does. And then, you know, we got Wonder Driver, but, you know, he's relying on, you know, getting to some kind of fusion card. So it's like I have to get to Poly first, I have to get to Miracle Fusion first in order for Wonder Driver to have some kind of effect. You know, there's like no crazy inboard that you're gonna end on, you know, if you just draw, you know, just one hero card and, you know, just build off like a crazy board based off of, you know, your extra deck monsters, because, you know, they just really don't do enough. You know, our best ones are what, Crusader, and that's basically like a search, and then Wonder Driver, like I said. And, you know, we have what's his name, DPE is really good card. Like I really like DPE, but I feel like this will definitely make it easier to end on, you know, the big three more often. You know, Plasma, DPE, Dark Law. You know, you're going to be able to end on that a whole lot better with Wake Up Your Elemental Hero, and, you know, it's going to make it a whole lot tougher for your opponents to win. Like, it's still going to have that weakness to Book of Eclipse, you know, and that's one of the things that heroes do suffer a lot with is, you know, when the like certain meta calls like really affect, you know, our deck as well, and being a rogue deck, it makes it a little bit tougher to win. But, you know, Wake Up Your Elemental Hero is definitely going to help a lot in those situations where you want to get to Dark Law, and, you know, you don't have to send your Shadow Mist to, you know, search or do anything like that. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. Excited about getting to play Omni Heroes again. You know, after I play this Friday, I'm going to kind of decide whether I want to play the Neo Space Connector hand loop deck, or if I want to play Omni Hero, because I do believe that Wake Up Your Elemental Hero gets placed out. I'm trying to hit up the Houston Regional, and, you know, I want to play whichever version of the deck I feel most confident going into the tournament with. So, you know, I do want to give Omni Hero a chance, and, you know, it'll be a toss up whether I play that or whether I play the Isolde hand loop deck, because the deck is amazing. I feel like it has a stronger first turn than Omni Hero, just because, like, looking at your opponent's hand knowledge like wins games. It just does. You know, Yu-Gi-Oh history shows us that with cards like Yada, Compensation, Forceful Sentry, you know, Don Salug hitting a random card out of their hand. It's just, you know, it's absolutely crazy. And yeah, so it is going to be what it is. And, you know, if I had to pick right now, well, actually, it's not fair for me to pick right now because I haven't played Omni Hero in, you know, months. You know, I had those months where I was playing Neos, then I switched to Isolde, and, you know, now I need to give the Omni Hero engine a chance and see how it compares to Isolde Hero. So we'll look at that over the next few weeks. Like, I'm still undecided about the regional. We'll go ahead and, you know, decide after I have a couple of weeks of playing Omni Hero off in there, and, you know, we'll make that decision. So, you know, we also hit 1K subscribers, so there is going to definitely be a giveaway coming. It'll mostly like go up next week. I'm trying to team up with Piana Megamats, you know, the Facebook group. Like, I get like all kinds of questions like, where'd you get that playmat? Where'd you get that playmat? Where'd you get that playmat? And, you know, it's usually one of the playmats, you know, coming from that company right there. So, you know, I'm teaming up with them. First place is most likely gonna get to pick. You can either pick 2 2 playmats. It's not limited to heroes. They do like all the archetypes, like all the most popular archetypes. So first place will most likely be either 2 playmats, or you can get a playmat with a token and field center combination. Second place will probably be a playmat and a field center or a token set, and then third place will be just a playmat. Maybe we'll do fourth place too, and give out another playmat. But yeah, we're gonna team up with them. We're gonna do that thing, and I appreciate everybody for helping me hit 1K. Everybody who's been commenting, liking, all the people who subscribed, I really appreciate it. It felt like it was kind of a long road, but we got there. And most of all, I just hope that y'all are learning something. Like, I think my favorite content to put out are the duels. Like, I love commenting on them. I love going back and looking at the reasons why I won or the reasons why I lost, and being able to prove my gameplay, because I found things that I didn't know before. Even when I ask questions during my commentary, a lot of y'all answer those questions, and it helps me out so much. It helps me become a better player. So appreciate everybody for staying a while to listen, and I will catch y'all on the next video.
Messing with the masked hero, king of games. Mask off, now you see that a hero lives. I pay half and you ask, but I'm winning games. There ain't another hero that surpasses me.